record. So today you're going to see another squat session in my attempt to kind of reload and get back up from things after doing a meet on April 20th. So this session, to be honest, felt pretty easy. There was a last warm-up I just did, and I'm going to move into doing 160 for a few sets, 170 for a few sets. And overall, I just felt like with the work sets, oh man, okay, I am definitely able to do this. And so, you know, that tells me that I can probably manage to do a little bit more work, that I can probably handle, you know, just bump things up like I should be as, you know, in training. So we'll see what happens next cycle and what I decide to do with progression in terms of my squat. As you might imagine, I would really like my squat to move up. It has not in a while, and yes, I went down a weight class, and that is frankly part of the reason. And actually, speaking of weight classes, I'm probably going to be shifting my plans in terms of what I do with my weight class in my future, and I think that's something I'll be talking about more eventually. I just don't even really want to deal with it in terms of social media right now, but so I'll just leave that there. So anyway, I'm getting back into things, and it was really, really fun squatting. I was like, yay, oh my god, this feels great, which is, that's good. For me, that's a good thing, and it hasn't been happening in the last few weeks, and I think, you know, partially the decision I'm alluding to here is what has changed that. I was just so happy in the gym working yesterday, and I would just rather be like that. You know, if I'm not having that happen, at least let's say at least 50% of my training sessions, then that sucks, and there's something wrong, because I sacrifice a lot to like be as invested in this training as I am, and man, if I'm not having fun with it, I don't know why I am doing it. So here I am doing some box squatting, and this is not the funnest thing for me to do. I'm not super strong at it. What happens when I box squat is I move my stance out pretty wide, and so from the side here, it isn't as obvious as if you were to look at my stance from the front and compare it to my normal squatting stance. But, you know, I come out really wide. It's like sumo deadlifting. My feet are at a 45-degree angle. And, you know, so that changes the squat. And, you know, squatting wider requires a certain amount of hip strength and engagement that's just different from a narrower squat. So I felt that yesterday, and I think it was a good thing. I think I definitely want to be developing whatever I can through the posterior chain in like a wider stance. It may help me with my normal stance. Also, you know, the reason I'm doing box squatting is because it really forces me to focus on what I'm doing out of the hole. And so my goal with these is to just not have my butt be the first like rising aspect of my body with the squat. And so, you know, getting up to 135, I'm so embarrassed about this, but yeah, 135 starts to feel hard for me. So you're going to see some breakdown. You're going to see my hips really want to come up first. But actually, given how these felt, which was worse than they kind of look, I think I do an okay job with that. You know, I get some left side issues where my left side is kind of collapsing, you know, during some reps, and I usually can feel that at this point and then correct it between reps, but yeah, you can see it. It means I'm struggling. So anyway, this just indicates a lot to work on, and maybe will help me out of sticking points in my squat game in the future. So yeah, you know, it's interesting, as Kyle's pointed out to me, my shins are so long that even a pretty high box brings me down to a few inches below depth when I'm working with it. So this box isn't incredibly low, but my proportions are such that, you know, to break, it doesn't take, you know, a very low box for me to start really breaking depth. So, you know, look at where the point of my hip is, the crease of my hip versus my knee there. It's pretty low. And that's not a low box. It's kind of an entertaining little side note there. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will have one soon.